but from Gracia, this is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 27th of June, 2024. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. In a glorious victory Wednesday night, Georgia beat Portugal 2-0 in the European Cup, which puts them in the semifinals, final 16 teams. It was, in terms of odds by bookmakers, the biggest upset in decades for the European Cup. All of Georgia and Georgian fans everywhere erupted in jubilation. Back to the depressing stuff. On Monday, the 24th, Josep Borrell, EU's foreign policy chief, warned that Georgia might lose its chance to join the EU if the ruling party doesn't change its ways. Said Georgia needs to respect democratic values and human rights to become an EU member. This warning came from the EU Foreign Affairs Council meeting. The council, like Borrell, is worried about new laws that undermine judicial independence and restrict media freedom. These include the controversial amendments to the judiciary that give the ruling party more control over the appointment of judges, and the Russian law, which aims to limit the influence of foreign organizations in the media. The purpose of this law is to suppress free speech and independent media and to pull Georgia away from Western democratic standards, most notably the EU. By the way, Borrell will be replaced by the former Estonian Prime Minister, Kaja Kallas, who has been a very pro-Georgia European leader and who has also been brutally critical of the Otsneba government. The council urged the Georgian government to follow the European path, which includes ensuring an independent judiciary, upholding human rights, and maintaining democratic principles. Activists and opposition leaders are calling for the government to drop the Russian law and focus on reforms that align with EU values. On the same day, former Prime Minister Gacharia commented on Borrell's comments. He blamed the Georgian dream or Otsneba's policies for the problems Georgia's having with the EU. Gacharia, who now leads the For Georgia or Sakartvelos party, said the government's actions are hurting Georgia's chance to join the EU. He specifically criticized the Russian law and the judicial reforms. Gacharia called for a return to pro-European reforms such as strengthening the rule of law and protecting media freedoms. He also mentioned the need for transparent governance and fighting corruption. Supporters of Gacharia agree with the need for these reforms. Other news, on Thursday, the 20th, the Venice Commission advised against passing the proposed law against LGBT propaganda, so-called, in Georgia. The commission said this law could damage Georgia's image and its EU membership hopes. They argued that it goes against basic human rights and could lead to discrimination against LGBT community. Now, the Georgian government has to decide whether to follow the commission's advice or go ahead with the law. Take a big guess which they're going to do. People in Georgia are now divided. Some support the law in the name of traditional values, whatever those are, even though it will increase discrimination and push the country farther away from the European Union. On Tuesday, the 25th, Georgian peace activist Besa Shengelia was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Shengelia is known for his work in prompting peace and resolving conflicts in Georgia and nearby areas. His projects include dialogue projects, community building activities, and advocating peaceful solutions. Many people in Georgia are proud and excited about his nomination, seeing it as a recognition of his tireless efforts and a positive spotlight on the country. On the next day, Wednesday the 26th, Dieter Trebuk started his new job as the United Nations resident coordinator in Georgia. He replaced Sabine Machel, who held the position for 4 years. Trebuk wants to keep pushing for sustainable development and human rights in Georgia. He has over 20 years of experience working with the UN, having served in various roles, including coordinating humanitarian efforts in Latin America and managing development programs in Africa and the Caribbean. There's hope that Trebuk will make a positive impact. Goals he's focusing on include reducing poverty, improving education and healthcare, promoting gender equality, and fostering economic growth. These targets are part of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to create a prosperous and equitable world. Monday, the 24th, Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili announced a major economic plan to boost Otsneba's election prospects. The $1 billion plan of government money focuses on supporting small businesses, creating jobs, attracting foreign investment, and improving infrastructure and education, all as a front for spreading money around before the election. It's all a way for the government to campaign, allegedly developed in response to economic challenges and stagnation. The plan targets sectors like technology, agriculture, and tourism. Up next, on Tuesday the 25th, the Georgia National Tourism Administration launched a new digital platform. This platform will help local tourism businesses connect with international markets more effectively, addressing issues like limited online presence and difficulties in reaching global tourists. Before, many businesses struggled to promote their services beyond local or regional markets. This platform aims to streamline marketing efforts, making it easier for hotels, tour operators, and other businesses to attract worldwide tourists. Government introduced this platform to boost tourism, which is vital for the local economy, especially after the downturn caused by global events like the pandemic. Useful step in revitalizing and expanding Georgia's tourism industry. In environmental news, on Friday the 21st, the government launched a new initiative to protect Georgia's forests. This program includes stricter regulations on logging, more efforts to replant trees. Officials hope this will preserve the country's natural beauty and biodiversity, an issue aimed at raising awareness about the importance of forests and encouraging people to get involved in conservation efforts. Wednesday, the 26th, women entrepreneurs from across Georgia gathered for an empowering forum in Tbilisi. The event aimed to support and inspire female business owners, networking opportunities, and workshops on marketing, finance, and leadership. Participants shared their stories, discussed challenges they face in business, such as accessing funding and balancing work and family responsibilities, a topic they don't cover in the events for men. On the health front, on Thursday the 20th, the Ministry of Health reported progress in the fight against tuberculosis, or TB. New data shows significant decrease in TB cases over the past year due to better treatment options and increased public awareness. On the 24th, Georgian Water and Power announced they fixed a damaged section near Tsitmauri village in Skatum-Tianeti region. Damage caused by severe weather led pipes burst and infrastructure breakdowns, resulting in frequent water outages and low pressure. The repairs involving pipe replacement and system upgrades took a few weeks, but it should improve the water supply now. Close this edition on Saturday the 23rd. The Ministry of Culture announced a project to restore historic sites in Georgia. The project will focus on preserving ancient buildings, churches, and monuments, aiming to protect Georgia's cultural heritage and attract more tourists. Locals are interested in the initiative, seeing it as a way to honor and maintain Georgian history. Also aims to boost tourism, which has declined due to various political and economic factors. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. You are a longtime listener and hanger-arounder in Georgia. Want to participate in the show? Well, this is your chance. We're looking for an illustrative listener anecdote or two, or tips about living in Georgia to share with a community of listeners. Go for it. Email us at info, I-N-F-O, @Rorschach.com. That's R-O-R-S-H-O-K, with something relevant in the subject line so we know what you're talking about. And tell us, and we'll put it in there with your name or not, whatever you say. Nachwandis.